Don't be afraid. The Fright Zone has been announced. Hey guys, Jay! Welcome back to the channel. Toy Fair 2025 continues, today being the last day for Toy Fair, and I gotta tell you, it's going out with a bang. So many different announcements throughout the weekend for action figures and, of course, regular toys for consumers. But there are also some quiet releases, which have actually gone under the radar for the most part. This one, though, caught the eyes of many Master Universe fans, and I'm super excited that the Fright Zone has finally been announced by Mattel. Unfortunately, the details were kind of scarce with this particular release. I am really happy to see that they at least included some photographs. That is always great. And in those photographs is something incredibly surprising, and I wanted to take a deep dive and show you guys exactly what was discovered about the Fright Zone in this quiet little release from Mattel. Let's have a look at this, guys, because this one literally surprised the heck out of me. Let's have a look. I want to give another huge shout out to our good friends over at toyart.com. Their coverage of the 2025 Toy Fair has been invaluable, and I wanted to give them all the credit. Guys, definitely give Toyart a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. It has been one heck of a year for Masters Universe, and it just keeps continuing and going strong like crazy. I literally did an episode about the reissue of the vintage Master Universe 6 POA with Power Punch action, celebrating 80 years of Mattel. And I gotta tell you, the next topic that I wanted to cover is just blowing my absolute mind. Over on ToyArk, they had the official images of all of the Master Universe releases that were announced during Toy Fair, and we're gonna keep going with all of these brand new releases between the Masterverse Origins cartoon collection, as well as the Turtles of Grayskull figures that were all announced at this year's Toy Fair. But quietly introduced by Mattel was something that a lot of us were waiting for. Right here in this little corner, you can see a glimpse of what we're about to talk about. Yes, indeed, everybody. The Fright Zone. The Fright Zone has been unveiled, and I want to take a deep dive in this and see exactly what the Fright Zone looks like and how different it is in its origins format compared to its vintage counterpart. If you recall, not too long ago, we had Eternia's Choice, where Mattel gave the fans the choice of which project would become a brand new addition to the Master Universe. And several choices were here, including the Attack Track, the Horde Trooper Carrier, the Horde Tower, Lady Slither's Lair, and of course, the Fright Zone. Eventually, it would be revealed that Lady Slither's Lair, the domain of the Snake Man, was the winner. Some fans considering the Fright Zone was actually a much better choice, or perhaps the Attack Track. The Snake Lair was eventually unveiled at San Diego Comic-Con 2024 to mixed reactions, and since then, the team over at Mattel has decided to go back to the drawing board to see if they can get something which is more accurate to the version which was promised to fans, and we are really looking forward to that. In the meantime, it seems like the Fright Zone has had a second life and was quietly announced at Toy Fair 2025. So I want to take a look and see exactly what the Fright Zone looked like and how different or the same it is from the original concept that was presented to fans during Eternia's Choice. Let's have a look. Wow! Oh my god, that's crazy, guys. I am absolutely over the moon with this. The playset looks so great, and you know what? It doesn't look that much bigger than the original playset. As a matter of fact, I think it might just be a tiny bit bigger, but what they've actually presented here is absolutely bonkers. Let's take a deeper dive into this and see exactly what was retained for the Fright Zone and what they had to change in order to get this thing produced. I'm excited for this, guys. Let's have a look. Zooming in closer, we can actually see that the Haunted Tree with all the ravens has been updated for 2024. Wow, this thing looks frightening. Moving back to the original concept that was presented to fans, they really have retained what they originally sketched out. You can see the Haunted Tree with its gnarly vision and that face, which is in the middle of the trunk. Originally, they were vultures, but now they sort of look like ravens. An interesting choice, bar none, and all of the ravens actually have their wings spread out, which is an interesting choice. The branches seem to be able to grasp certain characters, which wasn't one of the original features in the original Fright Zone, with its bendy arms, but as you can see, there's no face in the trunk itself. The tree seems to have a sort of base at the bottom, which has a single root which can trap unsuspecting travelers in its branches. So much fun. Zooming in closer, we can actually see the jail cell, which is very signature to the original Fright Zone. As a matter of fact, it was a key part of the entire playset, trapping any of the travelers who would approach. It had an automatic swing door feature, which you could activate with this lever, and it was just a wonderful little addition to the set. It has been faithfully recreated here, and I'm so glad that it is in its original format with all those rickety branches as bars. Can this really contain the most powerful man in the universe? If it's imbued with magic, for sure it can. We can even see the face of Hordak right at the top, very similar to the way it was in the original vintage playset. And of course, this is faithfully retained in the new concept design from Eternia's Choice. Zooming down further, we can actually see that there is a trap feature here. That's fascinating. It seems to be some sort of bear trap. This is new to the Fright Zone, as the original playset had nothing of the sort, although it did seem like there was something planned for this little trap door down here. This new addition seems to be absolutely terrifying. As a matter of fact, if we go back to the sketch created for Eternia's Choice, this was supposed to be some sort of stone monster, which would grab unsuspecting travelers as they approached the Fright Zone. Moving over to the left of the Fright Zone, the stone staircase, which leads all the way up to the tree, has also been retained. This was very much a feature of the original playset, and it's great to see that it's actually been reincorporated into the new design. And if we move all the way to the other side of the playset, on the right-hand side, there's a stone face. This was not something that was present in the concept design of Eternia's Choice. However, heading over to Battleground Blog, a wonderful archive of Masters of the Universe. Head over there, guys. Give them a like and a follow. Tell Adam that Jay sent you. Scrolling all the way down to the top, we can start to see the history of the Fright Zone, how it was conceived, its connection with the Evil Horde in Filmation, and of course in action figure form. And as we get to this little detail here, there is an original concept sketch all the way back in 1983. And here we can actually see many of the elements that eventually would be incorporated into the Fright Zone. We see the gnarly tree here on the left, the jail cell with man-at-arms. There is a Venus flytrap here, which was also something of an element that was in the concept sketch for Eternia's Choice. But what's really interesting to see here is that there is a monster attacking He-Man, which would eventually be morphed into the serpent puppet creature, which would eventually be included with the Fright Zone. But the design was reworked, instead of this ogre-like design, into a more serpentine creature. It looks like they've actually decided to reincorporate that monstrous type design into the actual playset itself as part of the rock face, thus melding the concept sketch of the rock monster on the floor into the actual side of the mountain, which I think is a great touch. Yeah, I've been putting it off, but it really is the most significant part of the Fright Zone. The puppet snake, I'm not even sure what it was. Maybe it's a dragon, maybe it's a snake, I'm not really too sure. But as far as anybody else is concerned, it is a snake. And most of the snakes these days that actually came with the Fright Zone have pretty much deteriorated into nothing. If you're lucky, your snake ended up looking something like this, mainly because you didn't play with it very much. But because of the materials that they were using, some sort of synthetic rubber, the reality is that they oftentimes would break down over time. Most of them ending up looking more like this, where it's pretty much completely deteriorated over where the teeth are, or other cases like this, where it's pretty much been completely eaten through. And that was a major problem for anyone who's a collector and hoping to get a vintage version of the Fright Zone intact. We can see here that in the original sketch for the Eternia's Choice, it seems like they were still going with some sort of puppet concept, or maybe even just a action feature with a plastic version of the snake's head. Who would have thought that they would have just gone full tilt and made an entire action figure animal creature and really turned this whole thing on top of its head? That's right, guys. I can't believe they've actually created a full-size creature and really expanded on the lore of the Fright Zone. This thing is absolutely terrifying. It's like some sort of caterpillar gone demonic. It does still retain that very distinctive snake-like head, but instead of a snake, it's actually now a six-legged reptilian dinosaur type of creature. It's got these raised scales on its back, bony and scaly skin. It's looking absolutely ferocious, and it even looks like it's got some articulation up in the shoulder regions as well as the ankle pivot joints. If I'm not mistaken, that actually looks like the tail can even articulate in a certain degree, and even the head might be able to twist along with the mandible opening and closing. This is a huge upgrade from the days of wrecked glove puppets from back in 1985. And taking a look at the complete pack out of this Fright Zone, it appears we got a number of different accessories as well. 3 of those crow-type birds, a laser weapon, and one of the traditional Horde crossbows with a blast effect. That is ridiculous in terms of its overall appearance on the front of the Fright Zone. Now, what's really dialing this up to 11 is the fact that the Fright Zone appears to be able to transform. That's what's really crazy about this set. Check it out. If you look carefully on the set itself, it appears that pieces of the set actually come apart. And after they've been separated from their original sculpt, the whole Fright Zone literally folds in on itself to actually reform into the interior of the Fright Zone. Holy crap. This is ridiculous, and bravo to the Mattel team. What a triumph in terms of its overall design aesthetic. This is ridiculous. I can't believe that they've actually made this Fright Zone into a transforming playset. Holy crap, everybody. This literally is dialing it up to 11. If you take a look at the jail cell, it actually doesn't look like it's transformed at all. What it actually has done here is it's rotated on its axis. So it actually rotates on pivots into the other side to showcase that you're still in jail in the Fright Zone. Sort of like even a magical effect, and you will never be found again once you're entrapped into the Fright Zone. It also appears that the head portion over here also pivots and rotates. As you can see here, there's a clear-cut divide line right here, and when you actually do a pivot, it rotates to actually complete this section of the left side of the Fright Zone. The inner wall seems to be made of some sort of lava. That's kind of neat. There's a weapons rack here where you can store, I thought it was a blast effect, but looking at it again, it actually is a Horde Trooper stun baton. The traditional Horde crossbow, as well as that blaster on the top. Moving in closer, we can see that you either detach the bottom portion of the entire set to reposition it as the existing floor of the interior. There's some sort of restraining device on the right-hand side of the Fright Zone, along with the windows clearly peering out into the staircase above. And if you thought that that was amazing, check it out. Zooming out further and going up a little bit, we do see that Hordak's throne is actually right at top the Nightmare Tree, staring down into the Fright Zone interior, ready to pass judgment on whoever has been captured in the Fright Zone. Holy crap, everybody. This is how a playset should be done in 2025. Taking what people already know as being a classic version of their childhood and really dialing it up to 11. It is pretty amazing to think that the design team over at Mattel has really taken something which is kind of mundane as a really small playset, something that was kind of a fun little detail back in the day for Master Universe, and really just taking it to the next level. Looking at it from a different angle, this is a brand new playset from the ground up. It really is a feat of engineering that is absolutely stunning. If we look at the wall, you can actually see additional details that the stone is actually an effigy of some sort of magical creature. This is insane, and I have to say, the Mattel team has really outdone themselves with this. I'm telling you guys right now, this set is going to be very sought after by collectors, as this is an incredible new addition to the Master Universe line. Unlike Snake Mountain or Castle Grayskull, which really were just updated proxies of the original vintage version, this has taken the original vintage version and really dialed it up to 11, and definitely will be sought after by many collectors once this goes up for pre-order. Unfortunately, according to ToyArk.com, the Master Universe Origins Fright Zone playset was included, but no info was provided. So we really just have to take our best guess as to how much something like this would be worth to fans, and the price point that I might be at. Also, we're left wondering, is this going to be in retail stores, or is it going to be a Mattel Creations exclusive, either through crowdfund or as a pre-orderable item, and could possibly be something for Club Grayskull members as another exclusive item to purchase. I've got to tell you guys, with all the crazy announcements that happened at this year's Toy Fair 2025, the Fright Zone was not something I was expecting to see announced during this event, coupled with the fact that this was actually just a soft announcement in a press release of all things, coupling with the fact that it has no pricing information. We're all left wondering exactly how we're going to get a hold of this and whether or not we're going to have to fight for it on a pre-order for Mattel Creations. But I think we can all agree, this is an incredible update to the playset. The fact that it actually folds in half, turning inside out to form a brand new playset, is something I don't think we've ever seen, and really has updated this incredible nostalgic item to the year 2025. And I can't wait until we can start finding out more information about the pricing and the pre-order details, because this one is definitely something fans are going to be fighting over. Okay, this one is truly surprising. At first glance, when you saw the pictures, you sort of didn't think much of it. I really didn't understand what I was looking at until I really took a look and really examined it. And it took me a while to really figure out what was happening. The fact that it opens up and folds right over, and I think the bottom section has to be removed and actually reinserted. It really is an incredible transformation in terms of what the Fright Zone is actually doing. And I just have to say, bravo, Mattel. All the designers, you guys went above and beyond, and this is absolutely freaking sane. This is the way to do an updated playset for 2025. I mean, Castle Grayskull is great. Amazing updates, everything about it, but for the most part, it was a one-to-one sort of replication of the original playset with updated features. The Snake Mountain was pretty much exactly that as well. It did have the removable cage, which you can put in different sections, the acid pit, which was a wonderful addition, and of course, It lost the microphone, but for the most part, it really was more or less the exact same playset. It did have those tiny little upgrades, but it didn't do anything different. This playset does it different. It does it very, very different and very, very well as far as I can tell so far. I'm very impressed with the way they've taken this and dialed it up to 11, and I can't wait to add this to my collection. I'll be honest with you, the Fright Zone wasn't exactly the first thing on my list on the Eternia's Choice. I was looking actually for the Attack Track Filmation version. But since I can't have that, I'm super excited that this version is coming out, and I can't wait until we find out more information. Because unfortunately, we didn't get any idea of the pricing. We didn't get any information about where it's going to be available, whether it's going to be fan channel, whether it's going to be Mattel Creations exclusive, or whether it's going to be the dreaded Amazon or Walmart exclusive. Oh my God, those always scare me. I'm hoping, beyond hope, that it's going to be a fan channel exclusive, or perhaps even a made-to-order release on Mattel Creations. That would be excellent. And of course, I'm hoping that the price point is under $100. Because, I mean, come on, Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain were still, 100, $120. I'm hoping it still falls within that category, as it is a much smaller playset, but with the additional transformation features and the new accessories and everything about it, including a full-scale figure creature mount, I mean, that really does add to the price. So it remains to be seen how much Mattel is going to be asking for this thing, and I'm just hoping it's not going to break the bank, because this is definitely something I want to add to my collection. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. What are your thoughts about this brand new Fright Zone? Are you guys as excited as I am for this amazing new playset? I mean, this thing looks absolutely gorgeous. The fact that it actually transforms and forms another playset in between, that is absolutely bonkers, and I can't wait until we get our hands on this. Or are you just disappointed that this wasn't the winner of Eternia's Choice, and you would have rather been able to pick this up months ago when it was announced, and you're still really curious and waiting on what's actually happening with the Snake Lair playset? Let me know those comments in the comment section below, guys. Toy Fair still has a few hours left to go, and I'm very eager to find out what's left in the tank for this year's 2025 Toy Fair. I've really enjoyed all of the releases so far, and we're still going to have a lot more episodes dedicated to many of those releases. As a matter of fact, you can check out the previous episode that I did earlier this week about Toy Fair. You guys can check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys there. Guys, I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Master Universe is continuing at Toy Fair 2025. And we're going to see a lot more coming very, very soon. Good journey, everybody. Geek proud.